Kenya's gold, karibu Turkana. Now when you go to Rome, you do what the Romans do, and that's why right now I am dressed in a regalia that depicts the Turkana culture. Now listen to this. About 18% only of Kenya's land is arable, and 63% of that land is acidic. Therefore, there is need to come up with sustainable ways of producing long-term crops with minimal effect to the environment. Now, Turkana being an arid area, we've come all the way to see how, using technology and innovation, the members of this community are converting an otherwise arid land to a land that is suitable for agriculture. We'll get to learn about this amazing story from Angole Francis, who is the founder of the Nachukui Community Farm. Come along with me, let us learn together. Angole Francis,
yes.
How are you?
I'm really doing good.
Asante sana kwa kutukaribisha hapa Nachukui Community Farm.
Karibuni mara nyingine.
Umetukaribisha na nyimbo.
Yes.
Naomba utuambie nyimbo inamaanisha nini katika community yenu hapa Nachukui.
Asante kabisa. Hiyo wimbo potapana, potapana, etagithinga manata. Wimbo huu inamaanisha sisi zote tunakaribishwa, hawa watu wa community ya Nachukui wanakaribishwa wote tujifunze kulima, ndio tuweze kutengeneza chakula ya kuzuia njaa huku kwetu Turkana.
Yes. Hapa Turkana mtu anapotembea kwa mashamba huku, ni mmea gani ambao utapata inapandwa kwa sana?
Ile mimea utapata imepandwa sana hapa Turkana ni mtama, kunde na watermelon. Watermelon kwa Kiswahili nafikiri unaweza kuwa unajua.
Tikiti maji.
Tikiti maji. Hizo ndio zinaweza kustahimili this climate.
Now you are the founder of the Nachukui Community Farm. Now talk to us about what inspired you to start the Nachukui Community Farm.
What inspired me to start this agricultural farm here in Nachukui is the fact that Turkana has always been shown in all over the media as a hungry-stricken place. And having learned from the Israeli organization that was working in Turkana North, and having worked with them for 7 years, this inspired me, gave me a lot of knowledge and a lot of insight to help my people produce food, because I learned a lot about the desert irrigation agriculture, and that is what made me now come to start this from the year 2021. I started first by ensuring that water is in this community. I mean, I just went around looking for partners and friends, and all of them, because of the idea that I sold to them of wanting to have food in Turkana, bought the idea and they helped me to get water. And that's after getting water, I decided to start this farm just near the tank before the water reaches the community.
Right.
Because water and food goes together.
Now you've mentioned your great partnership with the Israel community, who we know even in their country, being a dry area, they've managed to convert it into a land that is suitable for agriculture. What are some of those things that you learned and you feel will be very effective if we implement back at home?
having learned from them and also having started working here, challenges that I learned is that agriculture is very possible here in Turkana. You can see around. Here I have green grams. Behind me here there is watermelon. There you have squash, butternut squash. I have a bit of maize there that's not doing well. I have a bit of okra. Everything else. In those nurseries, little nurseries there, you can see sukuma doing well, spinach. That means everything can do well here in Turkana. But now with a few challenges. One, a lot of heat. And possibly this can be rectified if crops are grown under shade nets. And two is water. I think on our way when I was bringing you here, we came along a tank that was overflowing. And it's just because my partners could afford to give me that 100 cubic water that is shared between the farm and the community. But having had a very good solar pump that's pumping a lot of water, there is a lot of water spilling out, which could be harnessed and used here in the farm, because these cannot feed the whole of my community. I mean, there is already some land there that they have expanded, so maybe there is that challenge of water. I don't really have enough water for the farm. And also the other challenge is the locusts. After the short rains that we had the other day, now we have had a lot of locusts. That's why you can see my crops are not performing well.
Is there a challenge here in Turkana to get good field extension officers who give you good guidance on agriculture?
Really. There are a few in Turkana County, but they cannot be all over the vast Turkana.
Right.
Yes. So maybe if some organizations could come in and really offer this kind of services to us here, those of us who have decided, because this is a group of women. I'm trying to work with a group of women, 30 women, and the group is all inclusive. I have some people with disabilities. I have a blind old man there. I have the other man there working with crutches. We have an old mama there. Yeah, and then we have women. You know, training a woman is training the whole community. And the resilience we have in women is really amazing than what we have in men. That's why I decided to start a group that is led by women. And also from there, I also started a CBO, a community-based organization called Green Turkana Initiative, whose committees, the head committees, the lead members are women. The chairperson of the CBO is a woman, and one Miss Patricia Kapoko. So that's why I really have that passion of working with women, because of the resilience that I know in them. Once they grasp something, they get hold of it and they maximize it.
Of course, one of the major challenges that you face here in Turkana is water. But at the same time, you're blessed with the largest desert lake in the world. What can we do to make sure that we're using that water effectively for the purpose of sustainable agriculture?
We have a lot of water in the lake here that if there is a technology that anyone would have and would really make us utilize this water, the better. From the experience I had with Israelis, I also learned date farming. And date farming, kitende, you know. Date farming, the dates uses the water from the lake, the saline water. My intuition was telling me, as I start greening this Turkana, it will be possible to start a date plantation. There is already a lot of vast land here, free. No one is using it. We have water. It's only the technology of pumping water from there to the land, to the dates, produce dates, and then we become like Israel. We will feed the whole of Kenya. The other thing that I also wanted to share with you is about this lake here. Nachukui community is a fisher folk. We are fishermen. But now, our old ways of fishing have become redundant. We don't really see a lot of fish from this lake. Maybe if there could be someone, an individual, an organization, a person of goodwill who would really intend to help us do some fish caging or maybe fish ponds just along the lake there. I mean, would really, these women, these mamas from Nachukui would really make a lot of money, and they will change their life.
Talk to us about the technology that you're using in this farm for irrigation.
I'm using the so-called drip irrigation. I am using a tank of 225 liters. This is able to water half an acre, having it divided into 4 quarters. You can see there's 1 quarter here, the other quarter on my right, and then at my back, that's the 4 quarters. This helps us to grow variety of crop. You can grow 2 variety of crops in 1 quarter, then the other one. It is a way of using little land to maximize production using little water. Because water in Turkana is gold. And that's, when I see water spilling out like this, I feel like crying, because why should we waste this water? If anyone has a way of getting us more tank, people are here willing to do the agriculture. So these pipes here, it is called family drip system. This irrigation kit is called family drip system. You have that tank, and then you have these drips. You know, the water comes from the main tank to the little tank here of 225 liters. Then from there it goes to the crops through the emitters. These ones are called emitters. That is 30 centimeters apart, and they give like 3 liters in 1 hour to every individual crop. This one saves us a lot of water. Unlike the technology we are using on the other side, called the SciPit. The SciPit really uses a lot of water, and the production there is little compared to drip irrigation.
Do you have plans of also trying to use drip irrigation on the other side where you're using SciPit?
Oh yes, that's why these mamas prepared the land over the other side.
Right.
And it was just a way of trying to show them, and they have already learned, that with the drip, they can produce good quality crops with a lot of produce than when they are using the SciPit technology.
Talk to us about the fertilizers that you use. Do you use organic manure or you use chemical fertilizers here?
We are not in a position to access fertilizers at our convenient time. That's why I learned how to prepare compost using the animal droppings, because we have a lot of goats around, we have a lot of donkeys around, we have a lot of camels. So using the animal droppings, we decompose it for 3 months. Yeah? And then we make natural fertilizer. I have not applied any fertilizer in this farm, any chemical. The only good thing is the compost that I use makes crops resistant to diseases and pests, and that also minimizes the cost of pest control. I use something called IPM, Integrated Pest System, and in a way, you can see in my farm I've tried to plant some moringa. You can see I planted some mwarubaini trees. These are the ones that I use to take the leaves, I boil, and then now I use it to spray my crops.
And it does keep off the pests?
Of course.
Right.
The other day it helped me. When there was a lot of locusts, I used the mixture of aloe vera. I mixed the mwarubaini, the neem tree, together with moringa. I made a concoction, and that is what I sprayed. God is great. The locusts went away. I have 4 quarters here. Here I have like 5 variety of crops. There I have okra in the beginning, and then here I have watermelon that you can see is already producing. I think in 1 month I will need a pro box. I will need a punda to carry these to the market. Then here you have the green grams that are also fruiting. They are almost maybe in 1 month or 2 I will have. There we have the butternut squash coming out very, very well. And then there we have little bit of maize that I was trying to see if it can work. Then that quarter also we have little watermelon coming up. I'm trying to do something called continuous production. At the end, when we will have harvested this, then that will be now coming up to the market. And then there you have cowpea. Now in the nurseries, and that's why we have some lines there, some seed beds empty. In the nurseries, those are my little nurseries. What does it translate? It means we are in need of this shade net. So let's sacrifice our nets. We bring them to rear these crops so that they can reach a stage where they can be transplanted to the seed beds, so that we can have a good production of mboga around. Because that's what I've been telling them. Mboga here is a rare thing, yeah? They only eat a lot of fish and maziwa and nyama from mbuzi. They tasted mboga, they saw it was good.
So kukula mboga ni kitu ambayo imeanza recently?
Wow, juzi tu. 2 years is when this community started eating mboga.
Ndio naona kuna kunde nyingi sana.
Umeona kunde wamepanda mingi.
Na wameniambia inasaidia macho.
Hata mwingine aliniambia ameona mbali tangu
akule kunde.
Yes.
And then you're very passionate about your green initiative, and that's why you have your community-based organization.
Yeah.
Please tell us the vision of the future you have for Turkana when it comes to matters agriculture.
Turkana has always been a place where people don't value agriculture a lot. So it is my initiative through the Green Turkana initiative to prove to Turkana that our land here can produce all crops, everything that we want, because I have grown them. I was able to grow the dates, produce until they gave fruit when I was working with the Israelis there in Turkana North. And mine is, I began convincing them from my family level, and then now I went a step ahead to form a group, that is the group of these women. They call themselves Mama Shamba Nachukui Women Group. That's why they are here. And now from there, I wanted now to go a step to a CBO, to a community-based organization, now to expand my idea to reach the vast Turkana. And also in GTI, in Green Turkana Initiative, we also advocate for climate change. We try to tell people to plant trees, because Turkana is dry, because we don't have tall trees that can attract rain.
Have you started planting trees?
Of course, that's why we have a moringa in my farm. And we shall pass by a village in one of the households. then you will see a kitchen garden where someone has planted a lot of vegetables and a lot of trees for the community. I'm like, if I get any support to preach this gospel to the Turkana people, I think I will have achieved my objective of making Turkana green. And that is the essence of this name, Green Turkana Initiative.
Now,
GTI.
please talk to the government and private stakeholders. Talk to them about the areas of priority they need to give to areas like Turkana, where there is vast land that is left idle. What do they need to do immediately?
I think it's an appeal I'm making to people of goodwill, to organizations, to my lovely government, the national government, and to my lovely government, the Turkana County government, headed by His Excellency Honorable Jeremiah Lumurkai. First, I should thank this government because it is the one that partnered with some NGOs to get me water. When I got water, I was like, correct, I am going to achieve all the rest. Now I achieved water, I achieved the fence, I have the people with me here who are willing to learn agriculture and to expand the idea to the rest. What I am appealing is any organization that has the same objective like me to quickly come to our rescue, to our support, to support GTI, to look for me so that we can together grow this idea of making Turkana green and food secure. That is the objective I wanted to achieve. That we, instead of us always trying to rely on down country, on vegetables, on sukuma, on spinach, on kunde, I mean, we can grow our own green vegetables here in Turkana. I have the technology, I have the will, I have the women who are already empowered and willing to go ahead with this initiative. Kindly, organizations, friends, even if it is on PPP, private partnership, whatever, we are ready to do it, so long as we create job opportunities for these youth, because I have some youth who are also here. This will make us be self-employed. We stop crying to the president to create jobs for us. We will be creating the jobs for ourselves.
Thank you so very much, Angole Francis, for speaking to us, and keep up the good job that you're doing with the women and the youth right here in Nachukui Farmer community. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for coming.
Of course.
It was far.
It was amazing.
And that's why I said women are very resilient people. Good-hearted, ready to move and to sacrifice a lot for the good of others.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, citizen. Send my greetings to everyone in Nairobi.
I will.
I have never been to Nairobi for 8 years. I don't know, maybe after this...
You'll come.
Well, I will be ready to move.
Good.
Yes.
It's been such a great conversation listening to Angole Francis, who has talked to us about what inspired him to start the Nachukui Community Farm, which has changed the lives of the women and the youth in Turkana County. Now, talk about resilience, talk about passion, talk about dedication in the space of agriculture, because what you're seeing here is not a shade net. This is a mosquito net that is meant to protect the mothers and the children from malaria, but instead they have sacrificed it to act as a shade net for their nurseries, because in order for the nursery to succeed, as we have learned right here at Kenya's Gold, it does need to be protected by the shade net. This should not be the situation. These women need to be able to sleep in their protected net and also practice agriculture without compromising their health. Therefore, we are calling on to the government, on all the private stakeholders in the space of agriculture. If you're really serious about changing the lives of women and the youth and the community at large when it comes to agriculture in Turkana County, this needs to change. Thank you so very much for joining with us right here at Turkana County. But please, do keep watching Kenya's Gold.